with like other podcasts and them recording, I've noticed that they don't roll right into like the podcast. There's always like some slight talking going on, and then they're like, "Welcome to the
Hmm.
podcast." Um, Sort of like kind of how we kind of pretty much almost like how I do. I'm always like, "Welcome to the podcast. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in
Hmm.
to Zone and Company. I'm your host, Phil Zone. Today I got Thaddeus with me. He's back, but we have Mr. Wilson showing up to give his introduction. One other person you will see on the podcast from time to time. We also have Thaddeus' little brother, Ty,
Yep.
but I don't know if he's gonna do an introduction. I don't know if he's ever planning to really sit on the podcast at any point in time. More the merrier. That's all what I like to say. But let's get on into it. And, let me introduce my my boy Taj, and let him tell you about himself, and also let him give you guys his links if possible, so that way you guys can follow him on Twitch, TikTok, IG, and what else are you on? What other platforms are you on right now?
Oh man, that's a lot.
well, well, let's not delay. Mr. Wilson, go ahead and tell him about yourself.
Hey, what's up? Man, I don't know if it's anything special, but right now
It's always special.
I'm a full time worker. I definitely work at a special place. I'm not even gonna disclose what it is because trust me, it's a lot going on there. That's enough. But other than that, man, I'm very much in the game, and I think I'm on. I have a PlayStation account, Xbox account. Looking forward to moving to PC very soon. Um,
Trying to join the bandwagon.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I wouldn't even call it a bandwagon to be honest. It's like
No, it's really not. It's better
it's way
gaming.
better.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is what it is. So I mean, it's way better. There's some things that we're not gonna get just originally alone just off console that PC offers. Plus, it's just more control, way more smoother. But yeah, that setup in itself, you're looking at spending how much you spend like 1,200. I mean, minimum at least like
1200 for what?
1,400 for the PC setup.
I spent about like two under 3K.
Yeah. So, see, but you just like you're the same way I am. We're just gonna get it all at once. We're not getting it in
Yeah,
pieces. We're just gonna.
I definitely got it all at once. And
Yeah.
I also took me a minute to build it because I wanted to make sure every piece was there, and I sat there and I did a little research before I attempted to build it.
Yeah. So that's. I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to next. And then, sooner or later we'll get a camera working. I mean, I have a regular laptop now, but it really seemed to do what I needed to do. That laptop is really for work. What I just used it for, actually, like not too long ago, doing a whole assessment and everything. As soon as I get that up, man, I mainly post on TikTok like way more. I feel like there's more traffic through there right now.
Until they ban it.
Definitely. Say it again.
Until they ban it. You know they're trying to ban TikTok in the States, right?
Why?
I haven't even gotten to it. It's political stuff. And you know me. I don't really follow political stuff, but I did see that they're trying to ban TikTok, and the first thing I was like, why? Why are you trying to ban TikTok? You're banning people from getting information out under like 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. Like it's a platform that a lot of people gravitate towards, like IG, Facebook. But what is it that TikTok has it requires it to be banned? You know.
You know what?
Um,
I mean, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think Mr. Mark Zuckerberg may have something to do with that. Only
well,
because I think he originally tried to buy him, and he said no.
yeah, if you
Um,
can't buy them, shut them down.
yeah, shut him down
I
pretty
mean,
much.
I wouldn't put it past them just because remember they had that whole case way back when a few years ago about Facebook, um, and then all of a sudden there was no more, and they probably brought him into the fold and was like, all right, look, we need you to buy up all the media stuff. Him and what was that Elon Musk, because you know how he bought up Twitter. It's no longer called Twitter; it's called X. But I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
X is a really unhinged place. That I'm
Very,
saying, cause you,
very
oh man,
unhinged.
I didn't know. I mean, I don't even have one anymore. I had one for sure pretty time. Then I started seeing stuff, and I'm like, yo, I didn't ask for this. I didn't, I didn't. But this has nothing. Or you know what I did? The nerve of me just being 100% honest. So
The
if you
what?
go on some of these, like, this is me just being a man, like a guy, 100% honest. Um, if you go on X and you say not even on X, let's say you're on Instagram, right? Random person you don't follow or you don't know, because now they're doing that on Instagram, just allowing people to just be on your feed that you have no type of like
Yeah,
relationship with them. You don't know who this person is, and you click their X account, and it may be something else. So it could be a female. Let's say, for example, you click their X account. Lo and behold, because X is so freaking, no limit. It's whatever you want to put up there is whatever. It's pretty much mainstream to porn without it being that just yet. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's a problem. So we already know that's unlocked. I don't know how many kids are like freaking have access to that now. That's not like the best thing, but
it's funny. So
I'm
before Facebook, before like OnlyFans and like the whole like the access to porn and all that stuff like became a big thing before after COVID. I had a lot of people on my things. I was a social network a little bit for the most part, and when like people
mm,
really started doing the OnlyFans thing, my
oh
feed
man,
it was just ridiculous, and my wife was like, she's cool overall, but she's like, who are all these fucking women half naked on your fucking? And it was, look, I was already following these people way back when they just jumped on the fucking OnlyFans bandwagon. Now my
yeah.
fucking feed is full of it, and then I went through like my whole fucking thing, and I deleted like close to like 200 something people. I says, let me just stop following them. There's just no point in that. Now it's getting ridiculous. Um, but it's like every day someone new joins that thing, and I get it. It's easy money for the most part. Go for it, hustle. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with OnlyFans, to be honest, because OnlyFans itself it's a great platform to get yourself out there because I mean, people are using it for porn stuff right now and all this other stuff, but that's not originally what it was created for. Most people don't realize that
Yeah.
it was just another way to allow people to connect with their idols and whatnot for celebrities connect with their fans in a more direct way, and it just branched off like, oh, let me see what I can get away with, and it just fucking just went wildfire.
No, yeah, man. I mean, I was going to say that. Like originally, it wasn't just for that. A lot of like artists were using it just to get direct access to their music making and how they go through the process, or even when they're making it in the studio at the time. Um, it was never just for what majority of people use it for. So the vast majority, yes, which is crazy, is that pretty much people use it for that. Usually nowadays, if you hear a woman or anybody has an OnlyFans, first thought is not, oh, you're selling a product or you're just showing something. No, that's because of what the vast majority is. And some of the top earners are mainly women on there, and they've earned millions within a couple months. But it can be used for other things if you're smart about it. But the world we live in, so
Yeah.
it's gonna gravitate. Usually the easiest thing, which takes like little to no, work. But other than that, man, I think streaming in general has taken a very big turn in the last I'd say the last 5 years, 5 or 6 years. It's become, if not, it was a thing back then, but it's become very huge. And
Very mainstream now.
yeah, some of these streamers make more than artists,
Yeah.
like legitimately, if not the same amount of money within doing a couple episodes and doing a couple things. Now, I'm not saying that it's not easy, it's not an overnight thing. Jump on doing, but it's more or less. It's no longer conventional to do the conventional, if that makes sense. So back then we're coming from a time period. Us being '90s kids or '80s, even if you're in the '80s a little earlier. You know, we were taught pretty much you have to pretty much really work your behind off to get to a certain point. But the world we live in today is that has changed that standard. So I don't want to call the younger generation lazy because it's not true. It's just more innovative. They found more
They
different ways to
adapted.
get
They
some.
just adapted
They adapted.
to the
Yeah,
situation that they're in. And a
yeah.
lot of older people aren't going to adapt to that because of that mentality. You work hard for your shit, and you show them an easy way out. To them, they think that it's like a cheat code, and a lot of them have too much pride to accept that type of cheat code, even if it's beneficial for them to help them get ahead. They just refuse to to take it.
But I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Is it really a cheat code if the deck is stacked against you already as is? I mean, it's I wouldn't necessarily call it a cheat code just for that reason. Cause like, look, the game is not meant for us to win anyway.
No,
If you wanna get really deep into it, it ain't meant for you. The very few that win found the cheat code or found something. They did things that were unconventional anyway, for the most part. So
no, I'm
it's
talking
like,
cheat code as in money wise. Like instead of having to go to a 9 to 5, busting your ass, working hard, cheat code.
yeah,
That's a cheat code right there. They spend what 20 30 minutes creating content, 10 minutes or whatnot, or if they're full on blown like having sex in their content, however long it takes and edit it and bam, it's done.
all
That
right. Well,
right
let's.
there got him a check.
But we can go even deeper than that because it don't even gotta be sexual. Honestly, you got ASMR things. Like it's so many categories, and I'm not gonna lie. When I was here, I was like, "What? People like really, go online and listen to somebody run their fingers over a comb or something?" But it's a thing.
Oh, my
There's a
kids do
market for
that.
everything.
My kids watch
So it's
people on
like,
YouTube doing weird ass shit.
yeah, but hey, and then you look at the amount of views. It's like you
Y'all
can't
referring to
sit there.
ASMR?
What happened?
Y'all referring to ASMR?
Yeah, and I'm like, what's crazy is I didn't think it was a. When I first saw it, I was like, nah, people are really sitting here watching somebody like if a woman has nails on, it could be anything. It could be somebody touching a screen or whatever the case may be. It's just there's a market for it. There's a group of people that are interested in it, whatever they're called through your, however you look at them, they're still expanding on it, and I just call that intelligent marketing. I call innovation. I call it's just different because you found a way to make something out of nothing. And rather than bust my behind, because I know when I go to work, I work harder than they do. I know that for a fact. But then again, what is classified as hard work? If you put your all into something, like I know when it comes to this editing stuff, it is not as simple as it is when you're streaming and you're actually editing and doing stuff. You have to pay very close attention to everything if you want it to come out presentable. Now, some people just throw, they progress as they go on in time. Like, for example, Kai Cenat, his first YouTube channel, I watched it, his first one, very energetic. He came out, the gate, and you could tell it was brand new for him. And you see the room he started in, but if you ever pay attention, he's never on one subject in particular. It's pretty much him just being him. But whether whether he's talking about what's going on in the world, whether he's talking about a game that came out, whether he's talking about it's just he's going to where the attention is and amplifying off of that and making his he's a millionaire obviously at this point, making money off of it. So learning how to make money off of what people will watch, look for, and do anyway. To me, it's just intelligent, it's smart. They found a way, like exactly what Phil said, adapt. The world is ever changing. It's adapt or die. We can't live with the same. You can't call them lazy. They just found a better way to do it without risking their health. Can't really be mad at them. So I tip my hat off to them. I stream now. I enjoy it because it's something I do anyway. So why not do something that you like? I like gaming. Why not? You know, it gets to the point where followers are picking up, whether it's slowly but surely. I don't care. I'm still myself. So you kind of get lost more in the process of enjoying yourself. Money will come eventually. It'll stay when it. But Yeah, I mean, today's world is very different. So OnlyFans is not the only. I'm talking about just the streaming platform altogether has revolutionized what entertainment is. Like, you don't got to pay for advertisement. Remember back in the day, Phil, people had to pay to get their to advertise anything they were doing, business, anything for you to know who they were. They had to pay a lot of money for that. Instagram was the first platform where you don't have to do that. You don't got to pay for it. Just put it up there. Put hashtags, put a lot of things, and then people will find you because there are people that are looking for this subject. It just grows from there. It's an intangible product. It's like I don't have to pay to get this printed or played. People just got to watch it over and over and over again. Eventually, um, you got actors, people that started out as Instagram comedians. Like I see them on shows. Like what's this dude that's on Power? He's on Power now, which is a phenomenal. The show has taken off, but he literally started from making funny videos on Instagram. I followed him. Woody the Great. That's what it was. Woody the Great. And if you type, yeah, he was funny as hell. I always found him funny, but to go from that into a serious acting role and to have an actual like he fell into the character perfectly and he plays it perfectly, but that's not his origin of where he came from. To me, that's why I say social media is a phenomenal marketing tool if you know how to use it. So if you get with the times, people use it for businesses. You can use it for whatever you want.
I want to say a lot of those actors do that though. The ones that like start off as like an Instagram. The people used to like back in the day when Instagram was first stopping on, people say, "Oh, you're an influencer. You're calling yourself an influencer. You're an Instagram model, this and that." And people were harp on them. But now the ones that stay committed to it, what was that? The guy is he's a kid. He's younger than me. King Batch or whatever his name is. He started on Instagram and now he's doing like these big ass movies and shit like that and doing stuff. And he started doing super funny roles, and then he started doing serious roles, and it's not even like you can't even say that's like a new thing because if you look at some of the track record of even the industry, that type of industry, right? For like back in the day, like Bruce Willis, for example, he's probably like the key one. When he started, he was a comedian. Actually, he wasn't an action person. Yeah, he started off as being a comedian. Like some of his early movies were comedy shit, but he fit the profile and looks to be an action person, and then it just spiraled from there. Like he doesn't do any movies no more due to health reasons. But even in some of his older movies, his recent movies, like he still has some comedy stuff in there, but that was his foundation, was comedy stuff. He was a comedian first before he started doing action movies, which I thought was pretty dope. Like I didn't know that. When I found that out, I was like, that makes sense. Like you ever seen the movie Fifth Element? Like that shit was funny as fuck.
Yeah, it's a classic though. Most people know about that. But I mean,
telling my age over here.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I agree 100%. That's why I'm like, not even more. I used to be, what people used to annoy people about TikTok is it was just how focused. I think they were more annoyed by the users and not the actual people putting out content. So, actual people putting out content, remember, they're only doing this thing a couple times and then they're uploading it. It's the consistency. So that gets them noticed. And I noticed that even though, like, for example, when I put my videos up, what gets the constant traffic views is the consistency, right? But they're not mad at the people with the consistency of putting the videos up. They're mad at the kids are stopping in the middle of the freaking street to do a daggone TikTok dance. Now, this is what I will say about that. I'm going to be 100% honest. Back then, as a person who I look at TikTok myself here and there, but it's here and there. I'm never on that joint for hours because I've done before. I can't say I've never been. I've never now on it for hours. Time will go by. Like you just swiping. That's the point of the whole app. Is like, yeah, they're 10-minute videos, and sometimes they're like 5 minutes or 3-minute videos, but you're swiping. Next thing you know, 2 hours. You've been doing nothing but looking at TikToks. So it's a time consumption and it's instant gratification in order to keep you, because it's short videos. Here you go. But back then, there are some, because it's pros and cons to everything. So I do believe that it was like, I believe the pros is, like I said, advertisement, getting yourself out there, building a stream of income, something that pretty much could change your whole situation. Yes. On the con side, we now have kids that are not as interactive intellectually. So for the most part, we have kids that they have to have a screen in front of their hand and in front of their face in order to function. Back in the day, we didn't have that. We had the actual imagination, which was take your behind outside or, go do something, which allowed you to have some type of cognitive function in a sense. I'm not saying these young ones don't, but I'm saying that there's something that's lacking that, because I'm like, think about it then. We had to actually entertain kids. You had to take them out. You had to do things with them. Stuff had to be fun. Now they just throw an iPad in front of the kid's face. So the iPad ends up raising your damn kids, because it's like they're spending the 8 hours or 6 or 5 hours with them a day. That's when that adds up
I think that
over time.
I think that also has to do with the way society is, though, because back, like when we were growing up, yeah, our family, or whoever raised us, were most likely, busy working and whatnot, but they still had that time. It was
Yeah,
easier back then where they could still spend time with you. Now, in order to survive, you talking about like working full time hours and whatnot. 40 hours just be
it's
full time,
tough.
just under that. But now, in order to survive in this world that we're in, you gotta work almost 80 plus hours a week. When then once you're
Just to get
finally
by.
when you're finally done with that, you're sitting there like, I'm tired. Like, I got kids and all, but I'm exhausted. Like, how
Yeah,
can I spend time with my kids if I'm exhausted? So a lot of people, will pull out that. I mean, that's just one of those things, unfortunately. It sucks that it's like that, but it is. And the ones who have that time to be able to spend time with their kids on a regular basis, I know, like myself, it's definitely a great feeling. But I also know I am prone to be like, yeah, iPad sometimes, because if I'm with you 24/7, all right, at some point in time, dad needs to have some me time. They always talk about moms having me time, and dad needs to have me time as well. Let me tell you.
yeah. I need to
I always see those
decompress.
posts. Those posts like, oh, the women that does the most. No, the men do the most work too. We just don't. We don't look for the gratification and this and that. We don't look for it. We just do it because we know it needs to be done. But in our minds, we're saying to ourselves like, damn, can we fucking catch a break? Can we just have a moment to ourselves to where we can just relax? Like, for me, for instance, like my relax time is at night when everybody's asleep. When everybody's supposed to be asleep, and I probably should be sleeping too, but since I'm busy throughout the whole entire day, I utilize the hell out of nighttime from like midnight or 10 something to like 4 a.m. if I can. Just because that's my time. Mind you, I probably shouldn't be doing it because I gotta be up at like 7 o'clock to get kids ready for school, but that's literally the only time frame that I have for myself. If I'm not doing something for the kids during the day, I'm doing something for my wife.
Hmm.
So it's never a dull moment. Um, I mean, you guys see it. It's like, how much time, especially since Little Man's been born, like the time that I'm normally playing or online has drastically decreased because I'm always being pulled in every direction instead of just letting me just relax for a minute. Like, I am disabled, I am messed up. I do need to sit down from time to time, relax, or like you say, take a nap. As you get older, you realize you need to take those naps. Um,
Way more frequently, bro.
yeah, like, and sometimes you don't even realize that. I know my wife is good for it, and she does, and she didn't even realize it. It was like I was telling you earlier today. She was, you know, talking about uh the dressers. She bought dressers to new dressers for the kids, and she wants me to do it. Originally, I said you got to help me, help me put them together and move a little quicker because me being on the ground for like 3 hours trying to put 2 3 dresses together by myself, that's just absurd. My back starts to hurt, my knees start to hurt. I start to feel pain when I'm on the ground for so long. It just doesn't work for me. And she first thing out of her mouth,
Yeah.
well, you're the man, aren't you? That's what you No, no, no. That's y'all women push this equality, equal rights, share responsibilities. You're not allowed to say, well, you're a man, that's what you're supposed to do. No, 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 no. This is not what we're doing. You can't pick and choose what you want out of society.
No, it's the wanting the privileges without doing any of the work. That's what's wanted. That's what they want. So that's yeah, that don't fly. That's like pretty much I want to get paid the same, but you're not doing the same job. It's not gonna work. That's called instant gratification without any work or effort of doing anything. So, but I mean, back on I would say yeah, like I get what you're saying. Like that's why I say in between time, it's one thing like your kid gets it periodically. It's another for me if that's just straight because I've seen some that's just straight what they're doing all day, just iPad. Like I know there's some point like this parents like for instance you take them out, you go places, you actually do stuff, you interact with them.
Of course,
But,
I feel like
like
that's
you
something
said,
that's a necessity that still needs to be done. I mean, like I agree with you with the you don't want them to be on the screen 24/7 because they're gonna be raising the screen. Not to mention how much of an influence like most people don't realize is like you educate on an iPad, you think they're watching Netflix or watching some educational stuff. No, kids
nah,
are so smart these days. They're on YouTube, they're
yeah,
on TikTok, they're watching, they're observing, they're taking all this in. Like there's some people, there's like some people on YouTube that do these like little videos where like they have the screen in half and they do like they show a little funny shit on
hmm
one side at the same time they're doing like their little commentary stuff on the other side and they're literally
hmm
telling kids to be bad and doing like this is some wild fucked up shit. And you're sitting there and you walk like for me instead I walk in and I see my kids watching. What are you doing? Turn that shit off because you're gonna think you're gonna do all that shit that you're seeing them do on fucking YouTube, you're gonna find out it's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. Like they're telling them,
yeah,
"No, tell your parents to shut up." And this, no, you tell me to shut up if you want to at 7 years old. And we'll see how well that's gonna work for you. All right, let's be
yeah, exactly.
real.
No, it's 100% correct. I'm like serious, but that's why I say, but what doesn't make it easier. That's why I say a stacked deck against you. It what is the number one reason? Like you said, parents come home and they're tired. Like I've already had a long day, and I gotta turn it into entertain. And what makes it even longer or feel even longer is the fact that they're not getting paid what you really should be getting paid 90% of the time. You're doing more work than what you're doing more work than what you're actually getting. That's one. And so that feeling you're already coming home tired, you're thinking, oh, I gotta deal with this crap again. That's just how it is. So of course you're gonna come home tired and not want to deal with anything. So the cycle that's created, and since like you said, back then things were different. Back then it was a little bit I don't even want to say easier because just the same way as go up, the cost of everything goes up. So you're never really it's a rat race. You're never really,
You talking about raises?
comfortable in general,
Yeah,
bro.
no,
Like even if you get raises
the raises
it's
aren't
like
the
remember
raises in the workplace aren't real raises. They're they're an offset of the cost of living of going up. When most people are like, oh, I got a raise at work. You got a raise at work. That also means the cost of living is raising. If you get a raise at
exactly.
work and the cost of living goes up and you're still barely making it, you did not get a raise. A
hmm
raise should
Gotta
be
adjust.
to cover the cost of living and then enough money to where you feel comfortable of surviving where you don't feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck. That is a raise.
Yeah.
What you're getting is a cost to living increase in your pay. That's not a raise.
hmm
I
Yeah, when they
found that
say,
out in
"Oh,
accounting.
minimum wage is now like people say, it's 17.50, and then people that don't understand economics or how that works, like they're literally thinking like, oh, you from New York? Oh, y'all minimum wage is 17. That don't mean that we living good over here, bro. It just means expenses. It's just more expensive to live over here. So that would have to be the bare minimum, and you don't even get by on that, mind you. $17.50. When I say that's up to your neck bare minimum, that is literally up to your neck bare minimum. If you do the math, that means you're making 500 and some change after taxes a week. You're only making 2,000, a little over, literally 2,000 a month. Do you know how much rent is in New York? We're not talking about like we're talking about one bedrooms. That rent alone is taking up majority of your income. You got to talk about food. You got to talk about lights staying on. Then you got to talk about like it goes down the list to the point where you really won't have nothing. You have to have now. It's a regularity. You have to have two jobs. Two. You have to have two incomes just to make up one, like good enough one that you'll survive. And that's ridiculous. And so I look at it as, man, look, it's how you got to start figuring things out. When these kids started becoming innovative, when talking about streaming, TikTok, whatever you want to call it, there's several different streaming platforms. I think I was just looking into one that's like that actually pays you to stream per hour.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you hold on.
That sounds like a platform I need to get on.
Yeah. Yeah, send that my way, sir. I need to look into that because I'm about to look into. I'm dead serious. Like, that's another job. But in reality, what I'm saying, if it is true, I don't know if it's true. I saw advertisement. This is I stream. They pay me $18 an hour to stream. Like, man, if that's real, and part of your brain doesn't want you to be it's real. Why? Because it's too damn easy.
No, because anything that's too good to be true normally is.
Yeah, it is like that's too damn easy. You're gonna pay me $18 an hour to do something that I do anyway. Play game, like please.
It's like those scams that was coming
that's another
out
check
early, and early when digital stuff started really happening. It's like, hey, I could help you make $5,000. All you gotta do is this with your bank. And you're like,
all
you
gotta do.
And you're like, oh shit, that's easy. Motherfuckers turn around and they get $7,000 in their account, and they look in their thing and they see that like $10,000 was pulled out. They're like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a phone call from the bank. Hey, you owe $17,000. What do you mean I owe $17,000? Yo, someone deposited or you had someone put a fraudulent check from a fake company in your fucking account and this and that. Now we want that money back. And you're trying to reach out to that person that told you about this fucking come up. They're nowhere to be found. Why? Because they played your ass. It was too good to be true.
No, exactly. It's like, bro, it's literally like.
And you know what? That is probably the Now that I think about it, that's probably why the old people, not old people in the sense of like being old, but like the older generation, that's not more hip to technology, like the group we grew up in typically. That's probably why a lot of them are more skeptical about OnlyFans or any of those social media stuff that allow you to work and stream or be a content creator and make money, because that's probably what they think about. It's too good to be true. There's no way you can make a decent living and be comfortable and and not have to worry about anything. I mean, that would sound too good to be true, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I don't know about that. But I'll check it. Not just like whatever. I want to check into it, but I heard
if it's legit, let me know, and I'll be on that bad boy too.
Yeah, like what happened? Y'all used to be on there, yeah.
I used to, but you know what happened? These people offered me the right amount of money to do the right amount of things,
Yeah. So listen, I just gave him free advertising, social media. I didn't even have to. I didn't get paid to talk about that. Like that wasn't a thing.
For social media stuff, I think like you were talking about free advertisement. I really think that the whole copyright infringement thing that they always like to push for like music, when people are listening to like music in their background, it's like, oh, you're copyrighting this, you're stealing. No, that's free advertisement because if you listen to something fucking good and someone's like, yo, I know this artist, like, what song is that? If they don't know, and you let them know who that is, you just did promotion for that fucking artist. Believe it or not, you just advertise for that artist or whoever made that music. You're giving them free advertising, free promotion that they don't even have to pay for, through you. And all they had to do was just allow you to listen to their music. Um, and they're getting the big takeaway deal from that. But for some reason, it doesn't work like that. Um, you get hit with copyright stuff and threats about losing your account when it shouldn't be like that. I'm literally giving free promotions while I'm streaming. Like I'm streaming somebody's music while I'm playing someone else's music is being played in the background. That's free advertisement. Like who does not want free advertisement?
No, I agree. That's times is changing, bruh. I ain't.
Times are definitely changing.
And that's just I'm gonna figure out. You got it's another way. It's not even just so you be social media, be trading, which has become more mainstream than anything. It was always a thing that something that
we're talking about. What do you mean when you say trading?
I'm talking about stocks. Like trading stocks. So,
yeah.
Yeah, that was always like a thing, and man, look. There's people that it's free money in the sense if you know what you're doing, but you do have to be very meticulous knowing what you're paying attention to.
Trading stocks, cryptocurrency, it's all a gamble.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, but everything is.
You take a risk and hope that's going to pay out. Typically, they pay out. Like right now, like I took a risk way back when I was helping people with some advice about cryptocurrency, like trying to help out. And I know a lot of people probably sold off their stuff because they saw a dip and they probably panicked. You know what I did? I held on to that shit. And you know what happened? That shit is starting to go back up. I have like one coin I have, right? I have a shit ton of it. And it's still below a penny, but the way it's moving, it's keep creeping closer and closer to where I want it to creep. And I'm okay with just holding it because why? It was an investment, right? And since I know it's an investment, my rule with investing is you only put money into something that you don't mind losing, like snack money or something like that. You put any more than that, you're taking a hit, loss. You're gonna put yourself in a trick bag. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So for like me, most of my investments were like under $30 in total, and right now most of them are sitting at like 10 grand or more of profit, and I'm just sitting on it because there's no reason for me to sell it, especially since the projectings in the future for it to be even higher than what it is right now. And I only put $28 into it, and I got over 10 grand in profits. I'm gonna sit. I'd be a fool to sell that. But it's a gamble, because at some point in time, that $20 could have just went away. I couldn't, not even got any of that money. That's how it is. You take that risk. But when you take a risk like that, I also think that you have to, stand on it and just see how things go. It can go wrong or it can go well. And if you jump the bandwagon because you feel like it's gonna go wrong, and then you sell off all your stuff, and then a week later, 2 weeks later, it skyrockets, and you didn't put that much money into it to start off with, you're gonna be sitting there kicking yourself in the ass because you're like, yo, if I just would have just held it, and just forgot about it because I put money in it that I didn't care, and now it's profitable. Now that $30, whatever you put into it, it could be worth $1 million for all you know. depending on how well it's doing, and you're sitting there with $1 million fucking profit, like, out of $30. And one of my investments, I'm not gonna lie, one of my investments, if it goes well, then you'll be looking at the next Elon Musk over here with money. And I'm fine with that. I am perfectly fine with that. I will definitely disappear for a while, take a little trip, come back, and you know what I'm gonna have when I come back? The exact same everything. I'm gonna invest again. I'll probably buy me a new car. I'll probably upgrade my house, so that way I can sell it for the dream final home that we hope to get, for the future. And then I will probably reinvest. I'm not gonna go out and buy all type of flashy clothes and this and that. That's what you call nigger rich. When you get tons of money and you just go out and buy tons of shit, and then you're broke again. That's what we like to call nigger rich. That's what that is. It's one of those
easy
things.
come, easy go.
Yeah,
man.
facts.
Like, man, wait. So what car would you get? Because I actually want to hear about.
What car would I get?
Yeah.
So it's a toss up. If I'm gonna be honest with you, it's definitely a toss up. It's definitely a toss up of what car I would get. Just because of I'm thinking about environment and my needs. My needs, I want a bigger vehicle, just because of the family. But I also want a vehicle that can sit up. So I've thought about like a truck, like a pickup truck, that sits high up and whatnot. And normally, back in the day, I was like, nah, I never get a fucking pickup truck. But I also said the same thing about a soccer van. I was like, I never get a fucking soccer van, And here I am with a fucking Chrysler Pacifica. Because I have the kids, you just pile them all up in it. It's spacious, it's convenient. And my other car right now is a Chevy Malibu. But if I was to get another car, we thought about it and we were like, yo, let's make it an electric car. Because that right there just cuts out tons of expenses. I mean, it sounds stupid. Don't get me wrong, it sounds stupid, and I get it. It sounds stupid. Why go with a fucking electric car? That's dumb. But look, hey, you ain't got to worry about an electric car.
That's your business.
Maintenance. Yeah. You ain't got to worry about oil changes. That $100 every month and a half of fucking oil changes.
I ain't argue with that.
There's a lot of maintenance that you don't have to worry about with an electric vehicle. I'm sure that it got its flaws, but it will weigh itself out. It's like a lot of these homes that go solar panel instead of having paying for electricity to go solar panel. They pay that off and then they don't pay for electricity no more. Why? Because I got solar panel. Why am I fucking paying for electricity? I got solar panel. I got my own energy. You might as well just get a fucking electric car. You still keep a gas vehicle because you just never know what fucking is going to happen. Apocalypse might happen. You won't have any electricity, and so you keep at least one gas vehicle. But you get an electric car. Now you get an electric car. Don't think you should do. I personally don't think you should fucking activate the self-drive shit because there's that one movie on Netflix. Fuck, I can't even think of the name of it.
Oh, this drive itself right back.
Yeah, you know what movie I'm talking about. Exactly. You know what movie I'm talking about. I have. It had who was in that movie? Damn, I'm gonna have to look this up. On the next podcast episode, I'll definitely name drop that fucking movie. You know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna tell you the name of the movie right now. Because it will.
I'm gonna tell you right.
It will definitely bother me if I don't, just because. It's a good movie. I'm not gonna really take too much what happened in the movie because I don't want to spoil it for nobody. That's for sure. But no, it was definitely a good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Her name was Jennifer. Oh, fuck it. I'll tell you guys later. I'm not gonna try to look for it right now.
Garner. It was like the apocalypse shit. They
Yeah,
got
the
locked into
apocalypse
a
movie,
house.
and it's one of those things that Netflix has been doing. I've noticed that because they have a couple other movies that have like the same thing. Because in that movie, they have a scene and they have like a black screen with words like part one, part two, and I've noticed lately in a lot of movies that Netflix is putting out, a lot of them are kind of doing that similar thing lately.
Mm-hmm.
Which some of the movies it works really well for, and I'm like, yo, that's dope. That is absolutely dope. And then other movies, I'm like, why the fuck is this in here? Like, like it's pointless. But the Tesla's driving back and crashing into each other. That's always a possibility that can happen. For any electric vehicle being hacked in and whatnot, and I'm sure they will tell you they have ways to prevent it. But a hacker's always gonna fucking
Mm-hmm.
find a way. I mean, you watch all the movies, Mission Impossibles and all those other movies, and they show them hacking in people's cars, controlling them. They're doing it in movies. So,
Especially if they do that shit in real life.
facts. Did I ever tell you about you'd probably get a kick out of this. Did I ever tell you about the time I went shopping with Magda a couple of months ago?
No, hold on. John,
Fuck.
hold on. Oh, Taj in there. Continue talking. I'm hearing it.
Word.
Yeah, I know. So I went shopping with my wife a couple months ago, right?
Mhm.
And I don't go shopping often. I'm a creature habit. I'm like a hermit crab. I if it ain't broke, why fix it? My clothes ain't falling apart, why buy a new one? That's the type of person I am. But we went to Marshall's,
Mhm.
and she was like, "I want you to get some pants and this and that because we had a trip coming up, and she wanted me to, you know, get some stuff for the trip." Well, fine, I can do that, no problem. um,
Mhm.
we go to the fitting room, and as we're on our way to the fitting room, hear over the intercom, someone's like, talking about Marshalls and their sales and what's going on. They're like, "Oh, Marshalls, we're having this promotion, this and that." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, cool. I don't really care, but it is what it is." And I'm walking back, and I get to the fitting room with my wife, and we're sitting there. I'm looking around. I don't see nobody, so I'm getting ready to walk to where the change area is. And there's this old lady on the phone, and she's literally reading a script, and she's the one talking over the intercom. I always thought, like, no funny shit. I always thought that was always pre-recorded. I didn't realize there was always someone in the back on intercom actually reading that shit out. I always assumed that shit was pre-recorded.
Oh God.
So she told me to hold on and wait. I was fine. Okay, I'll wait for you. I'm just trying to try some clothes on. I don't really understand why I have to wait. Mind you, I ain't been, clothes shopping or to an actual store in quite a while, so things might have changed.
Mm.
She gets done. She walks to this back of the little desk, and she's like, "Oh, you're trying to go to the fitting room?" Well, yes, I am. My wife's sitting there with the little one, and and she was like, "How many pieces of clothing you have?" I'm two in my hand. I'm like, two, and she looks down, writes something down, grabs a little placard, and hands it to me with the number two, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" Well, I'm turning around. I'm like, hand it to my wife. She's like, "Oh no, you take this with you to your fitting room, and you leave it in there, and when you come back out, you bring it out." And so we, as far as to track how many items of clothing you had, and I'm like, why is this necessary? And then I'm assuming it's because of shoplifters. They put like this protocol in where they have people now at the fitting rooms that check to see who's going into the fitting rooms with items they have, so they're not stealing, which is a very strategic, smart thing to do. I get it. I know. But for me, growing up how I grew up, it's a completely new concept. So I'm like just looking like completely lost in the sauce. And my wife's like, I don't take them out often to go shopping. At this point, I know she's feeling somewhat embarrassed because she knows what's going on. I'm completely lost because I don't go shopping and go to fitting rooms and this and that. So I'm just looking completely lost out there, a deer in the headlights. And she's sitting there, yeah, this is what they do, and she's starting apologizing to the salesperson that's there back there, and I was just like, oh well, let's walk it up, and I know as I'm trying to clone, I just started chuckling to myself because I'm like, I guarantee because my wife's
Yeah.
Polish, she's from Europe, and I guarantee
Yeah.
she's walking around saying "kuva," which pretty much means fuck in Polish, and she's like "kuva ma," and she's walking around. And I could see it, her walking around like my fucking husband's so stupid, don't even know what's going on, fucking embarrass me. And I walk out, and after I try my clothes, and I walk out and see her, and she's sitting there, and I'm like, I bet you were like, she's like, yeah, I was. I was walking around, fucking feeling embarrassed, cussing out myself in Poland. I was like, I called that shit. But it's just one of those things just to show you how disconnected some people are from society or like from certain things, how things are evolving. Because I don't go shopping. There's so many things apparently that involve shopping now, and I literally need to watch a YouTube video and to watch what's going on in the world to make sure that I'm doing the proper things to go with that.
Which is always wild.
Yeah.
Get more info from fucking YouTube and shit than you could from anything else that you supposed to. Oh fuck.
And for those who don't know or who weren't paying attention when I did an introduction, this is Ty. He's Thaddeus's little brother. Y'all know Thaddeus. He's all on the podcast. Maybe Ty will grace us from time to time.
Most definitely.
With the podcast, it's always good for this type of podcast because it's zoned with company, right? So having a variety of different people with different outlooks is always great to have on a podcast when we talk. Uh, so you can see different point of views. I mean, and one thing that's great about us when we talk that I think is great when we talk is that we can have like extremely heated conversations and whatnot and still like no hard feelings, not being upset with each other. It's just because all of us have that type of connection with each other. It's like the distant family, that you see on the holidays, the holiday reunions. You just catch up. That's kind of how we always are when we're in a party. So it's always funny, especially with, like random people like join us and they're sitting there and we're like going in on each other like yo, and like they're panicking and we're sitting there like laughing this shit out. And they're like looking around and all nervous and shit. I'm like, these motherfuckers are crazy. Well, this is us. We're an acquired taste. Like we're like pretty much misfits in this bitch. But how are things with you, Ty? How are things down there in North Carolina? You're not far from me right now, because I'm in Georgia. But how are things with you, and how have you been? How's life treating you? Anything exciting going on you wanna bring up and talk about, or have a powwow in the group?
Sure. Well, thank you for asking. I recently had just started going ahead and doing my own electrical work on going out, like trying to get my career together. And because of some recent developments with my main job, seems like I should be going ahead and going full time with doing my own thing. So now all I have to do is just try and find me a way to put myself out there and what's the word I'm looking for? Network. Try and get some more customers under me. So other than the drastic like amount of news that just came out of nowhere yesterday, shoot, I just been getting my honing my skills, getting money right, trying to go ahead and do what I can and try and survive. And not only survive, but then also thrive, because
Thriving
I'm trying to get
is
there.
really good.
Always.
Trying to thrive rather than just surviving. That's I think that's a good terminology that you use right there. Because you want to thrive. You don't want to just survive. You want to survive and thrive. If you're just trying to survive, you have I would say no ambitions, no will to keep moving forward, and you have to find that thing the to make you want to go forward. Um, that's what I would say. Um, but if you're wanting to thrive as well, that means you're hungry. You see a future for yourself, and you're reaching for it to grasp it. And that's always great. I think that's always amazing. We lost Thad. Guess
Yeah,
he's definitely getting that hair locked up. Hopefully he comes back.
he's
Um,
in between somebody's legs, getting his hair washed, scalp greased. Yeah, but it's just like I just wish that I didn't have to go ahead and jump into something like this quick. I could have kept on getting my skills and whatnot, because the way that damn America's going, life at home is just like, sheesh, man. I gotta get ready for something because I don't exactly like speaking on anything and trying to make it seem like it's fear mongering, but it's a lot going on
no,
in this country.
there's a lot going on, but it's always great though. You're trying to stay motivated and stay ready, and not just be for lack of term docile. Um, I mean, that's definitely great. I I have to give you props because I know when you were in New York, you were trying, but I feel like you weren't. You were kind of stagnant, and now that you went to North Carolina, I feel like on a positive note, I feel like it actually has been a little bit more better for you. Like I definitely see a difference from when you went to New North Carolina versus New York. You definitely have a lot more drive. You stay busy for the most part, and I think when I'm talking to you, you actually sound more in happier spirits down in North Carolina than you did in New York. So I'm actually happy for you because
Thank you.
I like to see my people happy and seeing that you're thriving for the most part, and you're in much happier spirits than when you were in New York. I think that was the best play. Now I know you probably still have those downtimes in North Carolina, but overall, I think you're doing pretty damn well. Um,
Thank you.
now I can't speak on everything that's going on around you, but from when we talk and what I hear, I think you're doing fucking great, bro. Uh, I definitely like
Thank
that.
you.
See you, striving and trying to move forward in life. That's what needed. And keep it up. I think that's great.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Definitely always try to. I got this drive partly from like just going through. Obviously, as everybody else does, got to go through some shit, learn yourself, understand exactly that. Yo, look, shit just can't. Shit just doesn't stop because of the fact that some bad shit happened. It's just you got to keep it going, especially because of the fact that the people who were here, who are no longer here, would definitely see you in the spot that they always heard you speak about, and it's just that just always comforts me and always puts me forward to like, all right, well, let's go ahead and let's get this shit like understood and down packed, because if I didn't get it, somebody else would do. Looking back like later on and just saying, well, what the fuck did I do in my life? And that's exactly what I don't want to.
Yeah, true. Um, and the fact that how old are you now, Ty? You're in your 20s
21.
summer.
Yes, indeed.
21, you said.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you're 21 and you're realizing that it's I would say it puts you in a league or a step above everybody else because some people are they take a lot longer than that to realize that um that's what they need to do or that's what they need to realize. Some people are in their 30s or almost in their 40s and life's almost halfway over before they realize like, yo, this is not where it's at. The fact that you're realizing that at 21 and you're trying to make the correct moves and um, correct moves and other things happen, I think that's great. That is amazing. Uh, More people need to aspire to be like that at a much younger age. Um, I mean, you kind of grew up, or for starters, for those who don't know, I met Ty back in the day on the Xbox, and he was so little, and he had a high pitched voice, and he was always super fucking excited when I hopped online because his brother played the game, but he always knew I like zombies. So if his brother wasn't playing and I hopped online, he always knew if I was online, I was probably playing zombies, and I was most typically always willing to run with them. At some point in time, though, his little high pitched voice sometimes did get annoying. I ain't gonna lie. I had to get used to it, but it was always amazing playing. He's always gonna be that little kid, you know, to me. He's not a little kid anymore, but he's always gonna. When I think of Ty, is always gonna revert back to first meeting him when he had that high pitched voice, and to see how he's evolved and changed and grew. It's pretty cool to watch. And I mean, I see that even with my little cousins that are around me that are growing and whatnot. Another reason why Ty actually I'm more uh approachable with Ty versus most people because he has the same name as one of my little cousins that I look out for quite a bit. So uh, it's pretty dope. And I think anybody who has like similar names to like family members or whatnot, I always pay a little bit more closer attention to see what they're like. If they are similar to a family member that I know. It's just like a me thing kind of. And for an overall most part, Ty kind of personality wise, kind of acts like my little cousin does for the most part. Um, but they're also extremely very different too. I won't go into that, but um, they're both definitely enjoyable to have around and talk to, um, and hear what's going on with them and offer words of inspiration or just friendly advice if they need it, or just another point of view of something, especially if they're dwelling on something. So I never have a problem talking to them or checking in on them and seeing what's going on. I pretty much like family. I don't know what else to say, and I think like that about all the people that I have a close group of with on Xbox. There's not a lot, but most of them kind of like families for the most part. The distant family, a family away from family. Um, so I think we kind of all look out for each other. We all still talk shit about each other too, and chit chat because that's what we do. But for the most part, we all still look out for each other. Like I know for a fact, I wouldn't let no random person pull them and start trying to talk shit about Ty or Taj or Thad. I'm gonna fucking cut them off. Like, hey, bitch, what do you think you're doing? Like you can't do that, but you do it. Yeah, I can do that.
I can do it. You can't though, bro.
It was like it's always funny because Taj has recently started doing as I've noticed it. Depending on the group that we're in or who we're with, he'll call me by my first name, Phil. Most there's not a lot of people to call me by my first name, but every now and then he'll call me by my first name. I've noticed it. Uh, but I also notice that he doesn't do it when we're in with everybody. He does it, um, when we're around certain people. And other than that, he's just like zone. Uh, that I mean, that's kind of what we do. And when people try to call me by my first name, like you can't do that. But that's literally your name. Yeah, I know that's my name, but you can't call me by my first name because I'm not gonna acknowledge
You
you at
not
the
that
moment.
cool, bro.
We're now on that terms. I'm also prior military, so I'm like, you're gonna call me by my last name. That's I'm gonna be honest with you. You're just gonna call me by my last name. We are not there yet to where I will allow you to just freely call me by my first name and think I'm gonna respond to you. Like, it's just not happening. I will look at you as you call me by my first name and like, yeah, I'm not
What did you
I'm
just
not
say?
I'm not responding to you. Even when I had a stint when I was working for a little bit, I'd had them call me by my last name. Call me Zone. You're like, what? Really? I'm like, yeah, call me Zone. It's my last name. Like, I don't want you to call me Phil. Call me Zone. And you're like, really? I'm like, yeah, dead ass. I'm not gonna reply to you. I will walk past you. And a lot, well, I think most of it because I don't like the sense of people try to make the joke like fill up or Phyllis and like, yeah, I have no I in my name. It's spelled Phyll. Like, spell my
No, I don't
fucking name
pronounce it.
right. Don't call me fucking Philip. Don't call me fucking Phyllis. That's fucking smack the taste out your mouth, right? That's
Oh,
not my name. My name is Phil. That's it. And if you can't do that, just call me by my last name because it's more appealing to people. More people appreciate my last name more so than they appreciate the first name. Um, I don't know why. It's just kind of how it is. So, but yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna be right back. But like always,
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in to Chilling with Zone and Company. We're gonna come back with another episode. Mr. Wilson just now getting back. I just heard him, so we're gonna hit stop and go again because these platforms only allow you to record so long, and I'm not trying to be cutting up all my episodes. So let's get this in here. We'll be right back momentarily. Intermission.